Hi and welcome back. I'm real excited to take you on an interior video tour of the Renegade Classic. This particular coach that we're going to go in is what we call our mid-entry Classic. And a little bit earlier we had shown an exterior video of it, and this is going to be an in-depth, detailed look at the inside of a Renegade Classic. As we go through this tour, keep in mind we can change floor plans, we can get different colored woods, different color stains. This is just one of many floor plans and interior options that is available. So the first thing we're going to notice as we begin our tour is that Renegade has the boot step. In this particular coach, we had Renegade bed line the step so that, when you're out in the mud and the snow, you can just take a hose or you can sweep this out. It's very durable. Also notice where the boots are there. As you go in the coach, you can take your shoes off and just kick them underneath the steps. Here we are in the kitchen of this coach, and this is a galley style kitchen, and as you look at it you can see there's lots of space, everything's easy to get to. The most obvious thing in it is the cabinets, and on this particular coach we went with natural maple cabinets without any stain. We have several different wood choices. You can choose natural maple, natural cherry, and natural hickory. We also have two different stain colors you can choose from. We also have a high gloss finish, so you really get a lot of choices when it comes to what the interior of your coach looks like. And I emphasize your coach because the whole experience of this should be enjoyable and you should really get exactly what it is you want. I happen to be a very big fan of this solid maple, and that's why we chose this coach to start the video tour with. As we move around in the coach, again, I just want to keep reminding you that we have all kinds of different floor plans and different features, but the construction qualities are all the same. As we move over to the pantry, I want you to notice that the construction of Renegade cabinets is really second to none. They use full-length drawer slides with soft close drawer features. All of the drawers are dovetail construction. They rival most luxury homes. The other thing that Renegade does is they do a very good job of making things easy to get to and very user-friendly. Here you can see these three black cabinets, and inside of them is all of the electrical for the coach. So if you have a circuit breaker problem or a fuse problem, you don't have to get out, go underneath the coach and look around. You'll notice down here on the bottom left there's a furnace duct, and then on the right that square port is where your central vacuum cleaner would connect. It's all behind a real nice louvered cabinet door. I just can't say enough about how enjoyable it is to be out on the road, and if you do have a problem, to have access to that panel. Now as we move around through the rest of the cupboards, you can see over and over just the quality resonates in this coach, as well as the other brands of Renegade products. Here's another nice feature on a Renegade. On this particular Classic, we've installed floor lighting, which makes it real nice. When you get up in the evening, you can just turn on the floor lights as you walk through the coach, and it doesn't bother other people. Now as we start talking about the kitchen counter, I want to point out a few things. You'll notice on this coach we've installed the stainless steel backsplash. We can also do a tile backsplash. On this particular coach, we've installed extra 110 outlets up on behind the counter. It's nice to have an electric coffee pot, maybe a can opener, or a place to charge your cell phone. And we try to set these coaches up so they're very user-friendly. I think many times when people go to buy a motorhome, they kind of get caught up in the moment and they don't really think about living in these things day in and day out. Having lots of 110 outlets really contributes to the overall experience and just the enjoyment of living out on the road. I think probably the segue into that when you're out on the road is to have a nice cooking area, and Renegade uses residential style sinks and faucets. This particular coach has removable solid surface covers over the sink, uses a very deep stainless steel sink. The residential faucet has a pull-out feature on the neck on it, so you have an extendable spray wand, which really makes it nice when you're washing pots and pans out on the road. Each little thing just adds and adds to your overall experience. Now as we move over into the stove, some of the things that I really want to point out to you is that this particular coach is equipped with a 3-burner gas stove. We did what's called a recessed cooktop, so that when you're not using the stove, you can put the countertops back over the top, and that'll increase your countertop usable area. But we can also do a gas stove with an oven underneath it. We can also go to an induction style cooktop where it would all be a flush mount. We can also do an electric stove. I'll probably repeat myself several times throughout this video, but the whole purpose of this is to be able to build the coach to your exact standards and to make it so that you and your family are very comfortable in it as you're staying out on the road. If you're used to an induction cooktop at home, let's put an induction cooktop in your RV. Let's take the time to get it right and get you exactly what it is that you're looking for. You know, depending on the floor plan, we can even install a dishwasher in this if that's important to you. Here's a shot of the microwave oven, and every time we show one of these Renegades, people just are astounded at the quality of the appliances in here. This particular microwave is a 1.5 cubic foot. It's a residential style microwave, has a convection oven in it. I think I mentioned it a few videos back. We liked it so much we actually installed the same model in our home. As we move up here to the refrigerator, I really want to point out to you that there's a lot of options and there's a lot of reasoning behind the options. Some people like all electric refrigerators, and when we go all electric, it gives you the opportunity of not needing to carry any propane with you. Some people that like to do a lot of off-grid camping might choose this 13 cubic foot refrigerator because it's dual fuel, so if for some reason you're way out away from electricity, you can switch the refrigerator over to propane and it'll run on propane. There's all kinds of choices. There's all kinds of different size refrigerators from 9 cubic foot all the way up to 22 cubic foot. And it's really important for us to help guide you to know what kind of RVing lifestyle you're going to live to help get you directed in the right direction. The infinity light, when the LED lights are turned off, it's just a mirror in the ceiling, and when the lights turn on, you can see the LED lights arc up, and it's just 100% an aesthetic. Sometimes I think on a smaller coach it really opens up the coach and really improves the overall feel of it. Many people will have us remove the infinity light and install a ceiling fan, or just go with the standard white padded ceiling. The choice is yours. So depending on the floor plan, there's many different places we can mount the TV. On this particular coach, as you can see, we mounted a 42-inch television up in the bunk on a motorized slide. By mounting the TV on the motorized slide over the bunk, we can free up more wall space where a TV normally would be mounted and install extra cabinets. I think it's just a real nice feature. Here we're going to move up into the entertainment cabinet. This coach has the Onkyo home theater system with the Samsung Blu-ray. It has 5 in-ceiling speakers, a kicker hideaway sub. I mean, this place will really get the party going if you want to crank it up. Now we're going to move up into the overhead bunk, and it's kind of hard to point it all out in one video, but we offer several different styles of bunks. So the very first bunk is the most basic bunk, is a 48-inch over cab bunk. This particular bunk here that you're looking at is a 60-inch over cab bunk. And that just means from the back of the bunk to the front, this bunk is 60 inches deep. We can also do a solid bunk on the top where there'd be no cab cutout, as you can see to the right of the ladder. On this particular coach, we've done a cab cutout. If you decide you want to build it on a Cascadia chassis, we can also do an aero cap on the front. So there's all kinds of choices, and it's really up to you. One of the things that we really like about having the 24-inch cab cutout here is that when you're traveling, you can remove the plug out of the top of the bunk, and it makes it getting in and out of the cab a lot easier. Some people like it, some people don't. It's just really a matter of opinion. Here we've put the plug back in and the cover back in, and now you can see you're up to a queen size bed. This would be a 60-inch by 90-inch bed. Here we're going to talk about the roof access hatch, and this is an option that we've been installing. I'm a really big fan of this hatch. It's really nice in the evening to be able to lay there and open the hatch and look at the stars. It's also nice to do, as Marty's doing here, just to climb out of the hatch and take a look around in the morning. You know, and then also in the event there was ever an emergency, it's another access point for you to get out of the coach. But overwhelmingly, I just have enjoyed this as a place to stand up and view and look at things around. You know, if you're at a sporting event, you can go up through the hatch and sit up there on the roof with a lawn chair. It's just a great place to take some photographs from. You know, I just keep talking about it over and over, but I think it's an incredible feature to add to your coach. Another nice feature is having LED accent lighting, and it's kind of overlooked. I think when you go to look at coaches out there, you may or may not notice if they have accent lighting, but I can tell you in the evening it's really nice to be able to, you know, turn on a floor lighting accent and illuminate the floor, and turn on these window accents and the over bunk accent lights. It just puts a nice soft lighting level on the entire coach, and it really just continues to add to the experience you'll have when you're out RVing. You know, at IWS, one of the things that really frustrated me is nobody was putting drink holders in the sleeping areas. And most of us like to go to sleep and set our wallet or our cell phone or a water bottle or the remote control right next to us, and it's horrible to be fishing around in bed from them. So we started asking Renegade to install these shelves in the sleeping areas. And you can also see that we have 2 USB ports, so you have a great place to charge your cell phone, and then also a 110 outlet if you want to, you know, run an alarm clock or anything. And I think it's just you know, I just keep repeating myself over and over, but all these little things really do just add to your experience out on the road. Here's the shot of the DVD player. If you have kids with you, it's nice to be able to put them in the bunk and let them have their own private television. Now we're going to move down into the dinette and talk about the dinette. This is the Flexsteel Dinette. Anybody that's been watching our videos knows I'm a huge fan of this dinette. The things that I really like about it is I'm kind of a bigger person. You know, I'm over 6 foot and I'm 250 pounds. And when I went out and sat in the regular run-of-the-mill dinettes that are in all of the other standard coaches, I never felt very comfortable. You sit very rigid in them. When you sit in this Flexsteel dinette, it has a curved back. It's something where 4 people could sit and play cards for hours on end. The table is fantastic. It's bolted solid to the wall. There's no post that goes down through the middle for your feet to get tangled around. I think when people go look at motorhomes for the first time, you get kind of caught up in the wow factor, but you gotta kind of sit back for a minute and take a deep breath and say, wow, what is this thing gonna be like if I gotta sit in it for 4 or 5 hours or 6 hours? Am I gonna be comfortable? And I don't think there's a nicer dinette on the market than this particular Flexsteel dinette. Has slide out drawers underneath it so you can put extra stuff. With the curved back in the corners, you can turn around and put your back towards the window and hang your feet out over the edge. It's a nice place to sit down and watch TV. And I just kind of go on and on about it, but I just want to get the point across that this is just a fantastic dinette. It's hard to tell from the video, but this coach has an interior ceiling height of 7 foot 6 inches. Not only does that help with mounting ceiling fans and make the coach look bigger, but it really makes the cabinets huge. And you can really see it in this shot. The amounts of storage in this thing are just overwhelming. I've talked earlier about the lighting levels, and here we're going to progress through a few different lighting levels so you can see, you know, you get a lot of choices on how you want to mix up the lights in here. Here we are at the Flexsteel Sofa. I have as much affection for the sofa as I do for the dinette. As you can see in the video, this sofa has seat belts for 3 people. Here we're going to go ahead and fold it out. It does have a full airbed mattress that you can inflate. Just takes a matter of seconds to inflate it. So you have sleeping for 2 in the bunk, sleeping for 2 in the sofa, and sleeping for 2 in the bedroom. This is a feature we started installing in a lot of coaches, and this is our hutch with the overhead cabinets. We can also mount a television there on the wall if you would like. This has been very useful. It's a great place to keep the clothes for the guests that will be sleeping up in the bunk. We can also replace the hutch with a all-electric fireplace if you'd like, or we can remove the hutch altogether and give you extra storage space. The choice is really yours. Here we are at the entryway, and I'm really proud of this entryway, and I got to give a lot of credit to Mr. Reynolds out of Oregon because he's the gentleman that originally designed this for us. And what's so nice about it is when you enter the coach, there's the ledge there on the right, and there's a great place to store fishing poles or rifles. You can also put your boots there so they have a nice place to be out of the way and dry. I also want to point out the coat hooks over the top of the door. As you walk into the coach, if your coat's got snow on them or they're soaking wet, you can hang them up on them coat hooks and the water's going to drip down onto the stairwell. We've done several different interiors. This one has the wainscoting with the padded walls. We have 2 coaches coming in and they're going to be all stainless steel right there in the entranceway. There's all kinds of choices and it's really up to you what it is that you and your family want. Another feature that we've done on this coach is we asked Renegade to install all of the controls right here in the stairwell. So as you walk into the coach, all of the controls are easy to read. They're right at the right viewing height. You don't have to get on your knees, to read anything. It's so important to me as I get older, it's harder to see that everything gets put at the right height so that everything is easy to use. Here's a close-up of the Magnum Energy electronic control panel, and this thing seems a little bit intimidating at first, but if you buy a coach from us, we're going to give you the IWS Advantage package, and we're going to have videos that's going to walk you through each of the functions of this. The really neat thing about having this auto generator start and this monitor panel is you can program the generator to come on if it gets hot outside. We can also program the air conditioners to come on automatically. We can have the generator shut off at a certain time of night and restart in the morning at a certain time. We can also have it start if the batteries get a little bit low. There's just all kinds of functions and they're very easy to use. It's a very intuitive panel. It's just going to take a little bit of training and we'll get you right on board with it. Here's a close-up shot of the generator start button, and we've been equipped in most of our coaches with the 8 kW Cummins own-in generator. We can also do the 12.5 kW. Everything boils down to what your power requirements are going to be, and we want to make sure we get you right sized. There's a lot of things that I really like about the Cummins own-in, but you got to think of them for what they really are. And the engine is the same engine that they use in a Kubota tractor, so it's designed to run hours and hours and hours. If you read the Cummins operation manual, it's going to tell you that they would prefer you to run the generator 2 hours as opposed to just 20 minutes. These things are just like a little tractor. They're designed to run and run and run. I don't know if there's anything more important on a coach than having good, reliable power sources. Here we're going to kind of talk a little bit about the Renegade control panel, and this is really where all the action goes on for your coach. So the row of buttons on the bottom left is for your LP, gray tank, black tank, fresh water, and batteries. You just push one of them buttons and it's going to give you a report of the status of each of them functions. Then we have the water pump switch. That turns on the water pump in the coach. Yet the next switch is for your storage lights and your cargo compartments underneath. Then you have heaters on your holding tanks. On this particular coach, we actually installed extra heaters down inside the sewage compartment so it could be used year-round. The next switch is the electric hot water and propane water heater. Then we move down to the slide out for the main living area, and then there's also a generator e-start. And what that is if for some reason the coach batteries go dead and your generator won't start, you can turn the key of the coach on, come back and push that button, and then push the generator start button, and it'll link the chassis batteries to the generator till the generator starts, and then it'll switch over to the house battery. So it's a great feature to have. Here's a close-up of the air conditioning panel, and this coach has 2 zones. So there's the front living quarter zone and the back in the bedroom and the bathroom zone, so you can vary the different temperatures. I also want to point out on the switch panels, this is a feature we do at IWS, is we label all the switches for you so that they're easy to read and you know which switch goes where. Just one more of the little things that we try to do to make your life a little bit easier. Now we're going to move into the bathroom on this, and this has a mid-bath on it. What I really like about a mid-bath is when you close both doors, you've got a lot of room in here to stand up and dress. As all of you know, we're big fans of the Macerator toilet system. This is a full porcelain toilet. It has an electric flush. It has a water saver mode. and in a regular flush mode. One of the things that I really like about the Macerator is when you're ready to travel, you just push the number 1 and number 2 button at the same time, and it evacuates the water out of the toilet so it doesn't splash around when you're driving down the road. Another thing that I like about the Macerator is it has a grinder inside of it, so it emulsifies and grinds up all of the waste matter before it goes down into the septic system, and it just makes handling the septic a lot easier and a lot more simpler. We talked quite a bit about that on the exterior video, so I'm not going to go into a lot more detail. Look at the woodwork in here and the craftsmanship of this bathroom. It's just fantastic. It's something you really have to experience up close and in person. You can see underneath the vanity and the sink, there's LED lighting on the floor in there, and it's just quality, quality, quality. As we move around and open up the doors on the vanity, I want to point out that the vanities are available in several different styles and configuration. On this particular coach, we went with the undermount sink. We can also do a vessel bowl sink. There's several different choices. We can also go with oil rub bronze fixtures if you don't like the brush nickel fixtures. It's also nice having a really nice pantry there for all of your towels and washcloths. Really nice shower with a seat in it. Nice skylight. As I said, the ceiling height in this coach is 7.5 feet tall. So even the tallest person should have no trouble standing in here and showering. For the ladies out there, there's a nice seat in it. It's really nice. Lots of space in the shower, and people just aghast when they see it. It's just beautiful. Now we're going to move into the master bedroom. And wow, I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind when you enter this for the first time. There's just tons of features in here. And, let's face it, this is where you're going to be trying to get your good night's sleep. It's a big part of the RVing experience is how comfortable you are when you sleep in the evening. This coach has fantastic overhead storage over the bed. Here's some different levels of lighting to set the ambiance or the mood if you want. I'm sure you're going to find a lighting level that suits your need. Here's a really nice feature that Renegade does, and that is they mount the generator start switch on the Classic motorhome next to the bed right here, so you can lay in bed in the morning and just reach over and hit the generator start switch. There's also a 110 outlet with USB chargers. Those of you that have been watching our videos know I'm a huge fan of that, and we installed them outlets on both sides of the bed. Here's a shot of the water storage tank underneath the bed. This coach has 150 gallons of fresh water storage, and by moving it inside of the coach, we can keep it out of the elements so it's not going to freeze. Renegade really wants you to be able to use these coaches year-round, and by moving the water in, it's just a great way to make sure things don't freeze. Now we're going to move around and talk a little bit about the closet. And there's several different configurations that are available depending on the floor plan. There's different wood colors and stains, as I mentioned earlier. But the one thing that's consistent throughout all of these coaches is the craftsmanship and the little things that make your life more enjoyable. You'll notice that all of the cabinet shelves are adjustable, so if stereo components change, you can adjust them up and down. Renegade puts lights inside the closet. That's something that's probably overlooked on a lot of RV purchases. And here, as we pan around into the back of the closet, I want you to notice that they've put clear coating on all the wood so your clothes don't hang up and scrape on a rough wood surface. We can also do a cedar lined closet. I think you're catching the theme here that we really want to make this coach personalized to your exact needs. This particular coach has a 32-inch LED HD smart TV. Well, that's a mouthful, but it really does have the latest in technology. On this particular coach, we've equipped it with a Blu-ray DVD player, an entertainment system, and it's also ready for either DirecTV or Dish Network satellite receivers. Everything's ready to go. We just connect them up and you'll be enjoying primetime cinema. Now we're going to walk back through the coach and go up in the front and talk a little bit about the cab before we wrap this video up. As you can see, this coach has the slide around curtains, privacy curtains. They're really easy to use. As we move around inside of the cab, You can see this coach is equipped with Flexsteel seats. Many of the people that own these, including myself, absolutely prefer driving this to a pickup. They're just very comfortable. It's nice being up in the air where you can see. This coach has an in-dash Kenwood entertainment system. We've also ran the backup camera through the screen, so when you put the vehicle in park, you get a real nice backup camera. It really helps when you're hooking up to your trailer and just backing up in a tight spot. We can also equip the coach with side view cameras as well. Has full navigation system on it, designed just for RVs. As you can see, it has a real nice wood grain dash. I'm going to walk you through some of the basic switch functions on this coach. In the upper left, you have the left and right window controls. They're powered up and powered down. The next switch down below them is the mirror heater, which is real nice. If you're out in the winter, you can turn that on and it'll heat up your mirrors. Then you have the door lock button. The yellow button you see there on the screen is the parking brake button. Hillside and some boat ramp launching my boat, that when I set the parking brake, I know this vehicle isn't going to move. Now you can see the exhaust brake button, the docking lights, which are just, when you turn that switch on, there's lights that come out behind the wheels and illuminate towards the rear of the coach. Then there's the exhaust regeneration switch. We also have a USB connection, so you can download music into the stereo. You can also use it as a telephone charging cord, or use it the audio input if you have an MP3 player and play through the stereo. There's also a 12-volt outlet and a cigarette lighter. Here's a close-up of the auto leveling jack system. It's fully, as I said, full automatic. When you pull into a campsite, you just turn the power on, push the auto level button, and the coach is going to level itself. When you want to leave, you just push the all retract button. And these jacks are powered down and hydraulically powered up. Some of the campers out there, or motorhomes out there, have hydraulic jacks that are powered down and spring assist up. So if you're ever out in a muddy campground and you put your jacks down, they may or may not pull back up. When you have hydraulic powered up, you have power that's going to pull them out of the ground, and it's just a fantastic system. I also want you to know that when you buy a coach from IWS and you get our Advantage package, that we're going to include videos on how to use this automatic jack system and all the other features that we don't talk about on this video. I also want to point out that in order to get that video, you have to become a customer of ours. It's something that we keep very exclusive for our customers only. You know, as always, I really want to thank you for spending some time with us, and I hope this video helped you to understand some of the things you can inspect inside of a Renegade motorhome. Thanks again for all of your time, and I hope to see you soon.